Hey everyone, Teresa here with Jeremiah Dreams. I am part of a very fun collaborative event today called Sweet Treats and Sparkly Feats, and I've got a sweet little project for you. So I'm beginning with a little wood tray from Dollar Tree and going to just add some heat and get the label off of the bottom. And I'm going to turn this into a sweet reminder of God's goodness using paint and sparkle and one of my favorite verses from Psalms 34:8 that says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good." So let's get started with some Snow White chalk paint by Waverly. And we're going to give the tray just a little sprucing up with some of this white chalk paint. I love this shade of Snow White chalk paint. It's just very bright. And this will really make the colors pop and give this finished piece a bright, cheerful feel. Now that we have our little wood tray surfaced with some Snow White chalk paint, I've laid in some frog tape across the middle because that's where we're going to put our message. And now I'm just taking a chalk pencil and kind of sketching out where I want to put my little sweet treats. And we're going to put in some lollipops and some wrapped peppermint candies and some gumdrops. And I'm just kind of not really committing myself to where the layout is, but just kind of making sure things feel nice and balanced for me. You know, as I was painting the candy, I couldn't help but think about how often God will bring little sweet things to us, just little blessings to remind us that He sees us and He cares about us. And the peppermint swirls that I'm going to be placing in here and the soft pastels for the lollipops and the gumdrops, they're just happy colors and they all come together like a joyful celebration in this tiny tray. love adding dimension to my projects. And as you can see, I added in some black to give the depth in between the swirls of the lollipops. And now I'm adding just a little bit of shadow to the bottom of the gumdrops just to give it a little dimension and interest. One of the other little neat additions for the little sparkle and shimmer effect is I'm going to use some Master's Touch pearlized white to do sort of an overlay on these lollipops and on the peppermint candies that will just give that little bit of shimmer for the wrapping and just the glisten of that hard candy, and just give it that little extra shine. Now I'm adding just some little bits of shimmer to the gumdrops, and then I'm going to take just the end of a little stylus, and we're going to just pop in some little white dots on top of the gumdrops just to give it that additional little sugary effect. And between that and the glistening of the pearl essence type of paints that I'm using, it's just going to be such a sweet little pop. And once I have these gumdrops and everything just kind of to my satisfaction, we're going to remove that frog tape, and right in the center, we're going to put our scripture verse. Now, I confess, I am not an expert at lettering, but my lettering is my lettering. And I think it's important for this to be very personalized. And so I'm just taking one of my favorite tools, which is a Pilot friction pen. The writing that I do with this pen is bold so that I can see what I'm doing, but once I apply heat, it's going to disappear. So I'm just sketching in my letters, and then I'm going to use a small Sharpie pen and go right over these letters. So this is actually a fine tip Sharpie pen, and I'm just going right over the markings that I made with my friction pen. And once I get these inked in, I'm going to come back and add some thickness to part of the sides of the letters just to give it more of a calligraphy kind of feel. And after my letters are finished, so that they have some foundation and they're not just kind of hanging out in the middle of the candy like that, I'm just drawing these lines to kind of ground the letters, and I'm going to curve the ends so that it gives more of a ribbon effect floating right in the middle of those letters. And that finishes it off. I just so appreciate all of you joining me today. I would love for you to be sure and check out all of the other creators by following the playlist that's in my description. And if you enjoyed this project, I'd love for you to subscribe and leave a comment. But until next time, stay encouraged, stay creative, and keep on trusting in Him.